day 8, and I woke up this morning realizing that yesterday was Father's Day, and I didn't even think or say anything about my own father. It's probably not true that I didn't think of him, because I think of him every day. But the fact is that when my parents separated in 2010 or 11, my father, just sort of cut us off. It wasn't like a thing that actually happened. He just went silent, and by the time I've recovered enough from the shock and tried to reach him, there was no relationship. And then it took me many, many years to reach out. My sister didn't try reaching out, but I tried. It was somehow important for me to be in a relationship with him, and we even had a few moments of reconnection, and he came to visit me and the girls and my family, and I went and spent some time with him a few years ago, and it was actually incredibly sweet, although also somehow sad. But in the last several years, we've lost contact again very, very suddenly, because there was something that I said that he didn't like, and he started, he reacted, I guess, in his usual way, and I guess it was just so ugly the way he reacted, and it reminded me of what it used to be like, and I just said, I don't want these kinds of relationships in my life anymore, and so I said, that's okay, I won't bother you again. And of course, there isn't a day that I don't think about him. And very interestingly and strangely, my girls, so they don't really have any grandfathers, because they lost my father when they were still very young, in the sense that he just, I guess the word would be abandoned us, and then, my husband's father, in a similar way, there was something that, the emotions were too big and they just never spoke again or something. There wasn't really a relationship. So what is interesting for me is that I rarely speak about my father. Like, I speak so often about my mother and the mother wound. I've been surprised to what extent I'm affected by the mother wound. And yet, obviously, my father wound is there. It's just I don't even know how to talk about it. Definitely, my relationship with my father has impacted everything. As a child, I got a lot of attention and a lot of violence as well. He defined, through him, I defined love that hurts. And something that you can't really trust. And there was so much betrayal in every sense. It's extremely complicated, and somehow behind the scenes, I've been working on that wound for many, many years. But somehow not very publicly. I've written very few things about my father. And what I am learning to live with as that father figure, who abandons, who hurts, who withdraws love, who, that feeling of never enough, I try to challenge that conclusion, that the way I've lived with that father figure, as punishing, as critical, as betraying, as abandoning. And I try to redefine what authority means and what father figure means. And ultimately, of course, it's relationship with the masculine, right, that we're talking about. And I am now understanding that a lot of the difficulties that I had with my own husband had to do with that in unintegrated part of the masculine that I just wanted to reject. And now that I am capable of seeing my husband as somebody who is good for me, somebody who is, that there is kindness and there is partnership and there is love, that is quiet and kind. It's shifting my relationship with the masculine. And I think what probably needs to be said as well is that because I don't have a very present father figure in my life, neither my father-in-law nor my own father, and because with my own husband, I think part of the drama that I went through was the realization that he is just a human being and not some deity, that I need to put on the pedestal, who's going to protect me and make me secure and safe always. I think because the external masculine in my life hasn't been that protective figure, I had to really step into my own inner masculine and understand what that means to me and rehabilitate my relationship with the masculine, because until recently my relationship with the masculine was that kind of demanding, punishing, pushing, forcing. And this is how I was with myself, extremely disciplined, pushing, overachieving, forcing, no rest, no downtime, work, and then I went to the other extreme where I just I couldn't commit to anything because I just was so afraid of being imprisoned. And just now, as I'm starting to heal that relationship with the masculine within me, I understand the beauty and the benefit of ability to commit and create structure, and there is room for discipline in life and everything in good balance and all that. Yeah, so there is a lot of sadness and frustration and wishing it were otherwise. And yet what's emerging through these years of reflection is that all I need is within, and that the relationship that I need to repair once again, and most of all, and first of all, is my relationship with myself and all the parts of who I am, my inner mother, my inner father, and how they show up for me, how I have them show up for me. Because when we are focused on what there isn't enough of on the outside, we're cutting ourselves short, because we're not really attending to the real issue. And the real issue is always my relationship with all the different parts of me. And how can I, be in relationship with my inner masculine? How can I have discipline and structure and commitment in my life without it becoming my prison? So to be in flow as a woman, to be in contact with my inner feminine, the intuitive nature, the flowing, the flexibility, the nurturance, all while my structures are present and weighty and felt, so that my feminine can relax into the structure of my masculine, but that the structure is not prison-like. It's something that can also be changed and shifted. So yeah, it's a lot about inner harmony, and this is what I'm starting to really work on, and have been working on for many years now. But what is important to say today, what brings a lot of peace actually, is that what I look for in the masculine on the outside, well, they haven't been able to give me that. And I think thanks to that, I had to look at the masculine within me and rehabilitate my relationship with that. And that serves me so well. Because today, especially as a business owner, to have that structure, to have that kind of regularity, the discipline, the commitment, serves me so well. And then yet to keep it moving, to keep it, flexible, is what I try to get to today. All right, everyone, this was me for today, post Father's Day, and some reflections on a subject that I really don't speak enough, and maybe should, because I'm sure that other people can relate to as well. All right, see you tomorrow.